Hello, this is a jig that we use at 4-Bit Industries for programming Atmel AVR microcontrollers in DIP packages. The basic thought behind it is I don't want to remember which pins to connect to in order to program, so I do it with this board. And this is good for programming masses of chips, but also for prototyping. And I'll show you how that works. So if I want to program an ATtiny 25 chip, I just stick my programmer into the AT25 portion of the board, drop a chip in to the ZIF socket, and now I can program it. All of the pins on the ZIF socket are duplicated over here on these female header pins, so I can put a breadboard next to it and just jumper over if I want to create any test circuitry or if I just want to prototype using this chip. If I don't have an 85, if I have say an ATtiny 84, I can just plug into the 84 section. It does 24, 44, or 84s. Again, insert the chip at the top so pin 1 is in the correct place, and you can program that. Now the next two chips are the reason there are 4 diodes down here. The ATmega 328, for example, has 2 power pins and 2 ground pins. And so the power to the chip travels through 2 diodes, and the ground pins come back through another 2 diodes. And the reason we do that is that if you are programming, for example, a 4313 chip, well, those are GPIO pins. Those power pins are GPIO pins, and we don't want to short them. Now, it's possible that you might want to power the buffers on your programmer from some external source. And to do that, you usually just pull this little jumper off your programmer if you're using one of these little USB programmers like I am. And then we would need the power to get through this system, back through the diodes to the programmer. So I've left space to solder in male headers so that you can jumper to bypass these diodes if you want to. Putting this together, if you get it in kit form, is pretty straightforward. Just make sure the diodes are pointing in the correct direction. Make sure the little stripe on the diode matches the stripe that's painted on the silk screening underneath. And make sure each of these shrouded headers is plugged in, soldered in the correct direction. There's a little notch cut out that makes sure you have the programmer installed correctly. And that notch will, again, match the silk screening that's underneath. Now, a few little bonus things. I've got a ISP, an AVR ICSP header that is completely isolated from the rest. So this just breaks out the 6 pins onto this female header here. And then there's a little prototyping area that you can use if you wish. Feet on the bottom, keep it from sliding around the desk. And so this is a very useful tool that I use a lot, and I hope some of you will find it useful too.